Good afternoon, everybody. It's Alex with you here in the Fox 54 Digital Weather Center. And we got a lot going on, don't we? That's going to be the big discussion over the next several days is what's ahead this weekend. We got so much going on event-wise. Pioneer Day up in Lincolnton. We had Mr. Edwards talk about that just a couple days ago on the morning show, so hopefully you got to listen to that. If not, you can actually view that on WFXG.com. We got the fall steeplechase over in Aiken. Obviously a big deal with 2 steeplechases per year. Usually the weather is always a little back and forth. We'll touch on that in just a minute. And, of course, the home stretch of college football season. And we got some big games coming up. Rivalry week here in the 2 state. That's coming up next weekend. And, of course, high-stakes football being played across much of the Southeast as well. So lots to get into, lots of weather to talk about. And we're glad that you're here, so thanks for joining us. Any questions, I can see those, so make sure to drop those in at on our comments section here, and I can look at those and give you the best guess. Obviously, Thanksgiving coming up as well, so we're going to give you a preview of that. Today has been record warmth in some spots, actually breaking records. We did that at Augusta Regional Airport today. High was anywhere from 83 to 84. Still going to look at that official reading once we get past the 4 o'clock hour. And the record to beat was 82, set back in 1942. So it's been a second since we've hit highs this warm. It just doesn't happen very often here around the week before Thanksgiving, but it did, and it's been a beautiful stretch. You know, we had some of that fog early this morning. Beautiful time-lapse of that, by the way. Here it is from Beach Island. And you won't be able to see much up until about halfway through. There we start to see a few little bit more of the foliage, and there it is. Just gorgeous stuff from that misty morning fog, as Van Morrison once called it. So beautiful weather that's ahead over the next 7. But we got a lot of different changes that are going to be on the way, too. So past the fog, I don't think we're going to deal with that tomorrow morning. Here's what we're looking at for tonight. So a quick near-term forecast. Again, there's your showers. And the bigger batch of this is now crossing the state line, Columbus, down south towards Warner Robins and the Macon metros, and a few spotty showers over near Atlanta. Not a lot of this is expected to make it this way tonight. I am expecting mostly dry conditions for our Friday evening. We got playoff football going on this evening in parts of the CSRA. It is going to be warm, starting out in the low 70s near kickoff. Most of those kick off around 7 to 7:30 and falling into the mid-60s once we get to this evening. So here's what that looks like going into Friday. Again, not too much this evening, just a couple spotty showers, drizzle. Most of us won't notice a thing. It's going to take until the overnight and early Saturday morning for any of this to develop. So just not impressive rainfall. November, if you look at it from that perspective, I mean, this is going through Saturday morning. We don't see much. And Saturday afternoon, I don't think we see a whole lot either. So just a 20% chance of showers for tomorrow. It becomes beautiful, uninterrupted sunshine for your Sunday. Let's put a bow on this here, okay? Other than Wednesday's rain, we are still on pace for one of the driest Novembers on record. So this dates back all the way to 1871. And the drought monitor shows most of us in a moderate drought, others in a severe drought. Right now, other than the rain chances that we get overnight tonight and Saturday, the only other opportunity left, more than likely, for the month of November is going to be next Wednesday. Might could see some rain, maybe if we're lucky, on Sunday the 30th, but it doesn't look very likely for now. So again, right now it's looking like this could be on pace for at least one of the driest on record. The ones that we have to beat are 1928 and 2021 to fall into that top 3. So right now, we're trending towards it. That's for sure. But let's give you that weekend rundown again. Saturday, not a whole lot going on. Sunday, of course, a picture-perfect day at sunny and 75. Saturday, we're going to get into the low 80s. It's going to be warm, and we're going to start off cloudy. But we are going to get more sunshine into the afternoon. So for the fall steeplechase, I think if we're going to see a window for showers, I think it's going to be in the morning. It's not a washout. I think you should go to steeplechase and just bring a rain jacket just in case, but overall this is not a forecast that calls for a lot of rain for tomorrow. Going into Pioneer Day, going up in Lincolnton. Always a fun time there. 70 degrees by 10 a.m. A shower possible? Yes. I don't think we're going to see much past lunchtime. It's going to be a beautiful afternoon with partly sunny skies. Highs right at about 80 degrees up in Lincolnton. So get out there and enjoy it. Pioneer Day, always a good time up there north of I-20. So let's go to the game day forecast. And I think almost every location is going to be dry by game time. So if you're going to college football games tomorrow, I know a few folks here at Fox 54 are headed out to Athens for the big game against Charlotte. That one should be a cakewalk, as we know. The bigger games next week, which we're going to preview. Let us know who you root for. If you're a Gamecock fan, Clemson Tiger, a Bulldog, or even a Yellow Jacket over there in Atlanta. The best game of these, obviously, is Georgia Tech versus Pittsburgh, simply because it's just a heavier weight fight. Pittsburgh at 7-3, 7-3, and Georgia Tech's at 9-1. So 65 degrees in Atlanta for kickoff at Bobby Dodd. You go to Sanford Stadium, 74 degrees. All the rain's past Athens by lunch. It is going to be gorgeous football weather. And then we get to Coastal Carolina, going to Columbia to take on South Carolina. Upper 70s at kick. I don't think we see rain there. And we, of course, at 4:30 up in the upstate, it is going to be bone dry, beautiful as Furman. The Paladins, just down the road from Clemson, take on each other at about 4:30 in the afternoon. So, again, football weather, it's there. Here's what Saturday looks like on Futurecast. Not impressive at all. Not impressive whatsoever. In fact, I just think you see this here. This is the latest Futurecast run. It's going to be cloudy for the first half of tomorrow, so don't be caught off guard by the clouds, but there's not a lot of rain with them. We get to the afternoon, a few breaks in the clouds. That could spark a few tiny showers. It's not a lot, so don't get your hopes up for rain on Saturday. A very lucky few will see it. It's going to be partly sunny and warm in the afternoon. So that's all the bases covered for the weekend, so we're good to go. No weather problems there. Now let's get into Thanksgiving forecast. Ryan, thanks for tuning in, man. Go Gamecocks. Hopefully they can take care of business these final two games of the year. I think for my Gators and your Gamecocks, I think we're both out of bowl eligibility. So I don't think that's going to go too well. But nonetheless, let's get to the Thanksgiving forecast. So this is going into Wednesday and Thursday, Friday. There's your cool down. Easy to spot there. We go from 75 Wednesday to the 60s, Thanksgiving and Black Friday afternoons. The rain chances, they're good. They're decent. I think we're going to see some spotty showers on Wednesday, mainly in the first half of Wednesday. Wednesday afternoon, Wednesday evening, that starts to taper off. Here comes the cooler air. The cooler air is a little bit of a lag behind in the front. And I'm looking at it on our big board here. Upper 40s are going to be on the way for the upstate and for areas of North Georgia on Thanksgiving afternoon. That's where the cold air is really going to be pronounced on Thanksgiving. We're going to see it pretty mild. It's going to be average for this time of year, mid-60s on Thanksgiving Day for the highs. But it starts to get cold again early Black Friday morning. So if you're going shopping, is that still a thing? Is that still a thing where we go shopping on Black Friday morning and wake up at 2 or 3 a.m.? If it is, you need to bundle up. It'll be cold then. Black Friday, I think we're going to stay in the 60s. A good amount of sunshine, low 60s in the afternoon, but it's going to take all day to get there. So remember, most of the day is in the 40s and mainly spent in the 50s. Next weekend's going to be cold. Okay, next weekend will be cold for certain. We can pretty much guarantee that. But the problem is everybody's thinking, oh, it's a polar vortex. It's going to stick around for a while. I think polar vortex is my candidate for the most overused word of the year. And let me show you why. So let's get back here. Yep, the upper level forecast. So this is what we're looking at closer to shortly after Thanksgiving weekend. Okay, so it's getting cold. There's your dip in the jet stream right there. That's on Thursday. It's going to stay with us through the weekend. It's going to stay pretty chilly. But look what happens as we get into early next week. Look at how the colors on your screen get warmer, the oranges, even the reds almost. That is the jet stream lifting back to the north. It only makes a quick dip. The jet stream this year in the winter season, it's guaranteed. It's not going to stay over us for long, like it did in parts of last winter at times. It's only going to be a quick duration where this stays over us, and then it starts to warm back up again. We could very well see multiple days in the 70s the first week of December. Okay, so this is what we were talking about with La Nina. Above average temperatures, it comes with the territory around here. In the CSRA in La Nina, you're going to see warmer winters. That doesn't mean you're immune from the cold snaps. One of those cold snaps arrives next Friday. but it still means that we're going to see predominantly warmer than average weather. Our average high next week in early December, it's the low to mid 60s. And we're going to stay away from that. I think we'll see days in the 70s before our next cold front arrives by December 5th. We're talking a couple Fridays from now. So, again, it just goes to show you this pattern. We can warm up just as much as we can cool down. And the warmer days are actually going to be more in abundance than the colder days this winter. Or at least that's what it's trending towards. So, fear not. I think we are going to see some colder temperatures. But, again, it's not going to last for long. Jose Padilla, go Gators, man. I appreciate that. We're sporting the tie. You might notice this if you watch on Fridays. Every Friday, I wear the orange and blue tie. Obviously, we got to get in spirit for game day because Tennessee can't win in the Swamp it would be the first time since 2003 if they pulled it off, and they have a good chance this year. Hopefully that won't be the case. So we're rooting for our Gators on Saturday night and obviously rooting for our teams here in the 2-state as well. But nonetheless, that's the latest. I'm going to give you that 7-day forecast here as we close out this edition of Weather Aware Live. But overall, some warm days, not a whole lot of rain, and I think we will be competing for one of the driest Novembers on record, and I do think it's going to fall into the top 5. So Saturday, Wednesday, best rain chances you got. Past then, I think it's just going to be warm, and we'll cool down just in time for Thanksgiving and Black Friday. Thanks so much for joining me for another edition of Weather Aware Live. December starts our active season. Remember that. December through about March, early April, those are the active months of the year where we get multiple rainmakers, chances for severe weather, winter weather. That's the time frame where it's kind of all over the place around here. So again, as we do Weather Aware Live more often in the winter season, I do think we are expecting more active weather in the days ahead. But in the meantime, enjoy this. Doesn't get much better than this. And we'll talk to you tonight on Fox 54 News at 5, 6:30, and of course 10 and 11 after the game as well.